Let's talk AXAS. So when you look at them, they hit $1.90 today on 9/28. So this video, the information when I logged this stuff, it was cold days before 9/28, and they were sitting at $1.60 when I looked at their charts. They rose up to $1.90, and they're on the move. They're kind of hit their lowest peak right now when you look back over the last year. Looking September to September, this is kind of their September low, where they'll start to rise back up and start to regain strength. And they've just kind of went through the wave. As they go through and you look at market cap of 13.48 million, public float of 8.21. On the shorted side, it's 10.4%. We look at their last September revenue in 2020. One of the things that stand out is looking at their cash on hand, where they were. And as you go through and take a good look at their numbers, their net income, their revenue, keep in mind all your stuff quarter to quarter. Go back, look at 10 quarters, and see what you kind of do. And you see the rise up on the cash in hand. Revenues kind of staying around the same. But as they moved in March of 2021, you could see that revenue spiking up. You can see where with net income, the amount decreased as far as the negative side. The cash on hand keeps increasing. And as they chew away at this debt, that price target kind of starts to change. When you look at their price target of being coming out, you want to get them up over $2, shoot for $3, and you want to stay conservative. You go under the old mark of 110% a year, you're doing pretty good at $3. So an estimated earnings date on them is November 9th, 2021. I would say between now and September 28, 2021, you push through September, get through into the beginning of October, and you'll probably see a rise up through October going towards their earning date. The company was founded in 1977 and is based in San Antonio, Texas. So when we look at estimated 16.8 million barrels on reserves, you got to look at a chunk, like who's holding what, who's holding their cards. So when you look at oil shortages and people holding reserves, they definitely have a power play in their back pocket if they can hold it. September 17th, 2021, notification filed by National Security Exchange to report the removal from listing and registration of matured, redeemed, or retired securities. Industry, oil and gas, and consumable fuels. Sector, energy. Ticker symbol, AXAS, exchange, OTC markets. So when we look at their revenue going across the board, 2016 to 2020, and now you look at 2021, I think this is personally a sleeper stock. Remember, I'm not a stock advisor, financial analyst. I'm just a blue-collar worker doing my data, doing my due diligence, and I'm trying to pay some information forward to the people out there on YouTube, trying to find out information. People just punching a name in somewhere, wherever this information pops up. When you start looking at graphs, learn how to read graphs, and you do put that knowledge into yourself. The best money and the best wealth is the knowledge in yourself. So as you start learning this and you go through and you look at year to year, you start comparing quarters, where they're going, you can kind of start seeing where a company can go through, hit a spike, but then where it drops down, but now where they're trying to catch back up on revenue, where they're going in the future. A lot of companies, I personally think, kind of sandbagged through 2020, trying to get as much out of infrastructure, stimulus, everything they could. So in 2021, it'll still be a slow growth back. Where in 2020, when you look at 2022, you'll see a major pop up, I think. I think you're going to see a lot more revenue shown in 2022. When you look at EV and you look at that enterprise value, it's a measure of a company total value, often used as a more comprehensive alternative to equity market capitalization. EV includes in its calculation the market capitalization of a company, but also short-term and long-term debt, as well as any cash on the company's balance sheet. When you look at market cap, 13.48 million. When you look at enterprise value, 218.62 million. Big difference. Owned by insiders, 2.47%. Owned by institutions, 14%. Float, 8.15 million. Last split date was October 19th, 2020. Split type was reverse, 1 for 20. So when you start looking at this is a good thing to check into. What if they went through another stock reverse? What if they did another split? How many shares do you need to hold on a reverse split so that way you hold a certain position if you're looking at your positions that way? Where will you end up sitting? What will it do to the price? What will happen? So doing your due diligence and research to know that if they went through a stock split and their last split was October 19, 2020, that maybe they passed through October this year, but maybe in another year, maybe they go through another one to go back through, or to see what this company does. Book value, negative 110.16 million. Book value per share, negative 13.11. Now remember, we came back here and we looked at enterprise value at 218. So even though the book is sitting here, it kind of gives you you have to weigh that risk tolerance and how you feel you sit on this situation. With AXAS, yeah, I remember I put a cross in here, and that cross kind of marks where the shadow bank collapse was in 2019. You look at the green years in 2017, 2018, we came out in 2020, 2021, they had that drop down. Now you're going to see that boom back up in 2022, 2023, I think, for this company. And you could see them go back up to those levels that they were. If they were, you could be looking at rising through that 16 to that 32. And I definitely think this company could be valued towards that 48 mark. With AXAS, you look at 2025, and looking back, you could see this company definitely rise up. If they can get past that $50 mark and they keep climbing, they could definitely surpass that 64 to the 95, and they could hit that 127. So looking through 2022, booming back up, 2023. So they can go from 50, 64, get up there, 2024, hit 95, 2025, possibly a 127. When you look at AXAS, if you look at them for a 20-year hold, I definitely think that this stock could be back up over $300 if they continue to bank and they can build their oil reserves. And with inflation coming, oil and gas, even with the EV technologies, you need oil and gas in these companies to be able to build infrastructure and continue growth in any sector. So oil and gas is definitely going to be on a need basis for the next 20 years, no matter how much EV and what we're going towards. I think this company has a strong foothold. Make sure you do your research on them. I just want to put this information out there on this stock. Hope everyone has a good week.